Hey, what's up, everyone? You're here with Goran from Pickdawgz, and thank you for joining me here for your free picks from the European football on Saturday, September 2nd. As usual, guys, Saturday is our busiest day. We have some interesting matchups all over Europe. We have six games in the EPL. We have a few games in LaLiga, some games in Bundesliga, and so on and so on. And then, of course, we have a pretty big MLS slate picks for that you can find in a separate video. So check it out, guys. Make sure you subscribe to the Pickdawgz YouTube channel. And of course, we appreciate you hitting that like button. Of course, feel free to leave a comment on any of these videos. And if you have any questions, I will gladly answer those questions for you. For my best bets, click the link in the description of this video. That will get you up to my page on the Pickdawgz website, and there you can sign up. Like I said, guys, we have a very busy day ahead of us, so let's get this show on the road with the EPL picks. The first one is between Sheffield United and Everton. Now, both of these two teams have been struggling quite a lot. Everton did get a win in that Carabao Cup earlier this week. They have beaten Doncaster 2-1, while Sheffield United got knocked out after a penalty shootout by Lincoln. Uh, in the EPL, these two teams have been struggling a lot. Not only they have been struggling, Everton hasn't scored a single goal in the EPL so far in their three games. They have lost all three of those games. Well, Sheffield has also lost all three of their games, but they have scored a couple of goals at least, so they have that going, kind of going their way. Sheffield is also on a four-game losing streak at home, and they are not playing that well, whether they play at home or on the road, but neither does Everton. Now, which team has more quality here? It's hard to say because both teams have a bunch of injuries right now and their depth is kind of reduced. So I expect them both to put defense ahead of the offense in this game. So I'm going to go with the first half draw at plus 107 in this one. And let's hope for the best because I think if anything is going to happen in this game, it's going to be in the second half. For our next pick, guys, we have Brentford playing against Bournemouth, and they are clear favorites here at minus 139, even though Bournemouth got a win in the Carabao Cup against Swansea. As far as the EPL goes, they have two losses and a draw. Brentford on the other side has two draws and a win. They are actually undefeated in their last six games, and they haven't lost any of their last seven home games in a row. And as we can see, their home field is their fortress, and they're very, very hard to beat. On top of that, Bournemouth has a bunch of injured players, and their depth is their weakness right now. So I'm gonna go with Brentford on the money line at minus 139. This is the price we simply have to take for this game. Burnley and Tottenham will be facing off in the next matchup, guys. And Burnley definitely has potential. They have scored only one goal so far in the EPL. They lost both of their games so far this season. Their defense has been very, very bad, very unreliable. But they're coming off of a win in the Carabao Cup against Nottingham Forest. As far as Tottenham goes, they have been quite impressive, I gotta say, under Postecoglou, who is their new coach. They have been playing attractive football. They are quite offensive. They are actually more solid defensively than they have been in probably few seasons. And the only problem I could see is that they lost to Fulham in the Carabao Cup earlier this week after a penalty shootout. So we'll see if that will shake them up a little bit or no. But overall, they have been quite outstanding so far this season. They have been scoring goals, they have been creating chances. And for that reason, I'm going to go with Tottenham team total goals over 1.5, minus 136. Burnley might as well do something in this game. They're definitely more than capable, but I see Tottenham scoring at least a couple of goals in this game. Chelsea is hosting Nottingham Forest in the next matchup in the EPL, and they finally had a couple of great performances. They have beaten Luton Town 3-0 in their last game, and they have beaten Wimbledon in the Carabao Cup 2-1. And maybe this couple of wins that they were able to string together has awoken something in them. Maybe they will become a little bit more consistent now as the season is finally heating up. Uh, and Nottingham Forest is actually a decent opponent for them right now. The team that's on a losing streak, the team that's struggling a lot with injuries. They have a couple of suspensions as well. And Chelsea on their other side, even though they have a ton of injured players, they have signed so many players over the last two, three transfer windows that they simply don't have to worry about the depth because they have a lot of quality on the bench. So In this game, I'm going to take Chelsea to win in over 2.5 goals, minus 113. Let's keep riding this Chelsea team until they are winning. And as soon as they lose the first game, I'm going to fade them right away. So at the moment, I'm taking Chelsea to win and over 2.5 goals. Manchester City will be playing against Fulham in the next matchup, and they will try to continue their winning streak, which is now 4 games after they lost in that Community Shield to Arsenal. In a penalty shootout, they went on a 4 game winning streak. They have beaten Burnley in their season opener. They have won the UEFA Euro Cup, not Euro Cup, the UEFA Super Cup against Sevilla after a penalty shootout. They have beaten Newcastle and they have beaten Sheffield United 2-1. Now, there are some things that this team has to improve because it seems like without Kevin De Bruyne in the lineup, Holland is not utilized as well as with Kevin De Bruyne in the lineup, and that's something they have to work on. While Fulham, on the other side, they are actually quite decent right now. They have lost only one of their last 5 games, but Manchester City hasn't lost to Fulham in their last 12 home games. And like I said, they are playing outstanding football right now, scoring a ton of goals, creating a lot of chances, and they have been so dominant in this matchup at home that we simply have to take them. But seeing how big of a favorites they are, I decided to go with City minus one in the first half at minus 112. Let's just hope it kind of opens up for them in the first half and that they score at least a goal here that will give us the push, at least if not the win out of this pick. Brighton and Newcastle will be closing out the day in the EPL. That's a 12:30 p.m. Eastern Time game between two very, very good teams, but two teams coming off of a loss. Newcastle lost to Liverpool 2-1 at home in their previous EPL game, and that was after Liverpool conceded the red card. So their defense hasn't been that reliable this season as it was last season. So that's something that Eddie Howe has to improve as soon as possible. While Brighton on the other side, despite dominating that game against West Ham, they ended up losing it 3-1, and they will definitely look to bounce back in this game, and they're playing at home. Now, Brighton has signed Ansu Fati from Barcelona on loan earlier this week, and I'm not sure if he's going to be available or not. I'm sure he wants to play, but we'll see what the club will decide. And if he does, that's going to be a very, very nice addition to the Zerbi and his playing style. I think this is going to be a very interesting game. We usually see a lot of overs, we see a lot of chances, a lot of goals in this game. So I'm going to go that route. I'm going to take both teams to score and over 2.5. That's my second bet for this pick. And for the first one, I'm going to go with over 1.5 goals in the first half, which is plus 107. I see both teams kind of trying to start quickly and get on the scoreboard as soon as possible because that's going to give them a huge advantage. But then again, also, I think both teams will try to get a win here to bounce back after those couple of unfortunate results. So, Brighton against Newcastle over 1.5 goals in the first half. Now we are moving on to Spanish La Liga, guys, and the first game we have is between Real Sociedad and Granada. Real Sociedad is on a 3 game draw streak while having 4 draws in their last 5 games. Granada, on the other side, has actually been quite effective. They have scored 4 goals in their first 3 games of the season, and they're coming off of a nice win against Mallorca at home. Now, Real Sociedad doesn't have a lot of offense right now. They're struggling. Their main striker, Andre Silva, is still injured, and that is the biggest problem for them right now. So while they are getting those draws, I'm gonna stick to it, and I'm gonna take the first half draw at plus 148. I do expect a lot of defense from both sides, especially in the first half, and then we'll see if anything is gonna happen in the second half or not. The second game of La Liga that I have for you here is between Real Madrid and Getafe. Now, Real Madrid has been quite solid in this early season. They are on a 3 game winning streak right now, and all 3 of those games they played were on the road. That's a huge confidence boost for this team to win 3 games in a row on the road, and now playing this, I would say, very weak. Getafe team in that attacking end because they've scored only 1 goal so far this season. They have conceded only 3. Yes, they're solid defensively, but when playing at home, Real Madrid hasn't lost to Getafe in their last 15 games. I don't think we can rely on Getafe scoring a goal here. So I'm gonna take Real Madrid to win to nil, which is plus 124 right now. I can see that the books are kind of expecting it. Otherwise that would be very deep into plus money. So I'm gonna take it, and I know the price is not great, but that's pretty much the only pick I would take out of this game. We are off to Italy now, and the first game we have is between Atalanta and Monza. Atalanta has had a couple of good games so far this season. Um, they're definitely a very, very capable team, and they definitely have enough quality to get a home win against Monza, who has been performing really well, and it's also coming off of a win against Empoli, which was 2-0. Atalanta has signed a few players, they have lost a few players, they have a few injuries, but being the home team here is going to be a big advantage for them, and I think they will get a win. So I'm going to take Atalanta on the money line, minus 157. This price might not be good enough to take as a single, but it might be very, very good to take it in a double with something else. So I'm taking Atalanta on the money line. Next, we have a derby matchup in the Italian Serie A, and that is between Napoli and Lazio. Now, Lazio is very, very bad right now. I know that they are definitely due for a breakout performance. They have the quality, they have the depth, they have a decent coach, I would say, and they definitely have what it takes to get a win. Maybe not against Napoli, but surely against every other team. Now, Napoli hasn't lost any of their last 11 games. They haven't lost any of their last 11 home games. They are on the four-game winning streak right now. They have won both of their first two games so far this season. And on top of that, they are healthy, and Victor Osimhen has been in an amazing form with 3 goals in 2 games. Lazio hasn't scored a lot of goals. They have scored only 1 goal so far this season. But in a big match like this, teams tend to step up their game. Now, is Lazio going to step up enough to get a win? I don't think so. So I'm going to go for the full value out of this game. I'm going to take Napoli to win and both teams to score, which is plus 255. Honestly, I could see a 2-1, 3-1 game for Napoli, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see that result. So Napoli to win and both teams to score. For our next few picks, guys, we are going to go to Bundesliga, and we have Bayer Leverkusen playing against Darmstadt at home. They are pretty heavy favorites, minus 530. The price has gone down a little bit to minus 450, but still, Leverkusen are heavy, heavy favorites. Darmstadt, on the other side, is close to the bottom of the table. They haven't won any of their last 8 games. They have been conceding a ton. They have conceded four against Union Berlin, and that's after Berlin conceded a red card. They conceded one against Eintracht Frankfurt, and they haven't done well in the DFB Pokal. And overall, they are very, very, very bad form right now. And I think that Leverkusen will know how to take advantage of that because they've scored 6 goals in their first 2 games of the season. Their offense is clicking. They're playing quite attractive football. They're healthy. All of their key players are ready to play. And for that reason, I simply have to take Leverkusen to win and over 3.5 goals, and that is plus 116. Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg is the next matchup we have to talk about, and both teams are coming off of a win, but Wolfsburg has been much more consistent so far this season than Hoffenheim has. Wolfsburg is on a 3-game winning streak. They have scored 4 goals in Bundesliga so far this season. They have beaten Heidenheim and Köln, while Hoffenheim has also beaten Heidenheim in their last game 3-2. Before that, they lost to Freiburg at home, and they definitely see a chance for them in this game because Hoffenheim and Wolfsburg are fairly similar teams when it comes to the quality, but I think that Wolfsburg is coached a little bit better and they value that hard work and they basically don't stop running until the final whistle. So, if I had to choose a side, I am leaning towards Wolfsburg to be honest, simply because they are the better team in my mind and they are in better form. But instead of that, I'm gonna go with goals. I'm gonna go with both teams to score in over 2.5, minus 148, simply because Hoffenheim at home is a very solid team, and it looks like they have bounced back after that loss from the season opener. So Hoffenheim against Wolfsburg, both teams to score and over 2.5 goals. Stuttgart and Freiburg is the next matchup we have, and for some reason, Stuttgart is the favorite here, even though they lost their last game against Leipzig 5-1 on the road. I know that they're solid at home. They have beaten Bochum 5-0 in the season opener, but Freiburg on the other side is actually on a three-game winning streak right now, and they have scored 5 goals in those 3 games. They have kept 2 clean sheets, and overall, I think that Freiburg is definitely the better team here. They have more quality, and over the last couple of seasons, they have been more consistent, and they were even in those. In the battle for the Europa League and Conference League and even Champions League at some point. Stuttgart hasn't lost any of their last 5 games against Freiburg, but Freiburg also hasn't lost any of the last 4 games, and they're on a nice winning streak. So I do expect an open game here because Stuttgart, in my opinion, doesn't have the defense. So I'm gonna go with over 2.5 goals, and that is minus 134. Borussia Mönchengladbach is hosting Bayern Munich, and Borussia is actually one of those teams who had Bayern's number over the last few home games. Borussia Mönchengladbach has actually beaten Bayern Munich in 3 of their last 4 matchups, and they actually haven't lost any of their last 6 games against Bayern. Now, that's quite impressive if you ask me. But I mean, the current form of Borussia Mönchengladbach hasn't been that great. They've conceded 3 goals against Leverkusen without shots fired at all. While Bayern Munich with Harry Kane in the lineup looked quite impressive in that game against Augsburg, and they have beaten Werder Bremen 4-0 in the season opener. So it looks like that number 9 was definitely what Bayern was missing. And with Harry Kane in the lineup, they definitely have what it takes to once again dominantly win the Bundesliga and potentially even go for the Champions League title. So in this game, I'm going to take Bayern win and both teams to score, which is plus 108. I'm counting on Borussia Mönchengladbach to kind of try to keep that positive streak against Bayern alive and at least get on the scoreboard, if not get a positive result. So Borussia Mönchengladbach against Bayern. I'm taking Bayern Munich to win and both teams to score at plus 108. We are off to the French League One, and we have Brest playing against Rennes. That's the matchup we are here to talk about. And Brest is actually quite decent right now. They have lost only 1 of their last 5 games, quite solid in the attacking end. They have been scoring goals, and at home, they are very solid as well. As far as Rennes goes, only 1 loss of their last 6 games. They have been scoring goals. They have scored 8 goals in the first 3 games of the season. And for that reason, I'm keeping this one simple. I'm going to go with over 2.5 goals, which is minus 138. And I think the price is definitely good enough to take this pick as a single. Monaco is hosting Lens in the last pick of this video, guys. And Lens, after losing a few players who went to other teams in Europe and Saudi Arabia as well, they haven't won any of their last 6 games, while Monaco on the other side is actually undefeated in their last 3 games. And each of their first 3 games of the season have gone over 2.5 goals, and 2 of those 3 have seen both teams to score and over 2.5 goals as well. Now, Monaco on the other side alone has scored 10 goals in these 3 games. They're averaging over 3 scored goals. And for that reason, I'm going to go for the Monaco and the full value here. And that is Monaco to win and over 2.5 goals at plus 165. If Lens is going to get the first win of the season, it's not going to be on the road, in my opinion. So they will have to wait for another week to get that win. So Monaco to win and over 2.5 goals. That's it, guys. Thank you for joining me here. These were free picks for the European soccer on Saturday, September 2nd. Thank you for joining me here. Feel free to check out the video for the MLS games we have on Saturday evening. Get your free picks, guys. Get those winners, and good luck with your bets. And have a great Saturday.